मैं हूँ आपकी खुशी on your throwback Thursday morning. बिल्कुल टाइम हो चुका है 8:35 and today is the 11th day of July. बाप रे बाप 11th day of July. चलो कोई बात नहीं यार, वो तो गया 11th right. So thank you so much for your lovely phone calls. Break में आप सबसे बात करके अच्छा लगा और आपको भी अच्छा लगेगा. अभी किसी के साथ हम लोग अभी बात कर रहे हैं and as always she gives lots and lots of information to us जब भी यहाँ पे स्टूडियो में आती है. एंड बहुत दिन के बाद उनको मिल रही मैं, तो हमने थोड़ा बहुत गॉसिप भी कर लिया क्रिकेट के बारे में ब्रेक टाइम में.
How are you, Kushi?
Good. Yes, everything is good. So we are in conversation with Pooja Mehta ji from Dalal and Mehta Law Firm. So how is everything after a long time?
After a long time, good. Doing some business travels, summer travels. Actually, interestingly, this wasn't planned. लेकिन जो topic आज बात कर रहे हैं हम, I was just in Ohio on Tuesday, taking care of a client's immigration case for the very same thing. So everything is brilliantly planned out.
Wow, see, that's how it worked out well, right, for everybody.
Exactly.
So, guys, as we all know that Pooja ji every week she comes up with amazing topics which we don't know about everything about that. So Pooja, tell me, what are we going to talk about today?
So today we're going to talk about what happens when you have something called a conditional green card.
What is it?
And a conditional green card basically means कि when you are married and you petition for your spouse कि वो यहाँ पे आ जाए, so उनको, if the marriage is less than 2 years in life, then the green card isn't going to be 10 years, it's going to be 2 years. And at that anniversary of those 2 years, you basically have to file another petition with USCIS to have those conditions removed and basically confirm to them that the marriage is still alive and well and you haven't divorced for any other reasons. And then if they approve your case, either on paper or they might do interviews. So that case I was discussing with you, the one in Ohio, you know, it's Trump time, right? So they're not doing as many paper approvals anymore, so they're calling people for interviews.
Really?
So we flight out to Ohio, we help the clients, we took care of it, and their case is approved. So the problem that comes up with these cases is not just the 2-year anniversary and proving, that the marriage is still genuine, but what happens if you do get divorced, which happens a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the divorce percentage is that I mean something like 40 or 45% of divorces happen within the first 2 years of marriage. The majority being within the first year and a half of marriage,
What will happen? Will they go back to their country or where are they from?
So, in terms of immigration, well, for the first thing is when you get a divorce in the state of New Jersey, there are certain things that we usually request when we're representing the clients, that they get an affidavit from their spouse that basically says that, you know what, this was a genuine marriage, our marriage didn't work out, but that doesn't mean that we entered into it for fraud purposes, right? So when you have a statement from the other side that confirms it, it really helps the case. But when you are filing a removal of the conditions after 2 years, there are certain categories where you can file if the spouse passed away, if there was domestic violence and you had to get a divorce, or maybe you just got a divorce because you and your spouse didn't get along. So different categories require different levels of proof. And that's why, once again, we always say you need to come and see an attorney.
Of course.
Because the level of proofs needed vary differently. In the Ohio case, what the main concern for the interview was that both parties were already once divorced.
Oh, they all, okay.
So the image that comes out is that, these are two people who are divorced. Well, did they get divorced to marry each other for green card purposes? Because one was timing out and the other needed that spouse benefits, what was going on here. And so it's our responsibility to make sure that we present the proofs. In this case, there weren't even many proofs. They didn't have a lot of stuff going on because people don't think in advance. लोगों को लगता है कि देखो हमारी शादी तो honest है,
exactly.
Government को क्या है? But the reality is that these things do count. So
all the proofs
it was very creative thinking on our part to kind of get stuff together and get that case approved.
That's what it was good. Yeah, that's good. So guys, as you heard, मैं आपको number देती हूँ. Don't call her now. Right after the show. And the number is 7322837400 है उनका phone number. If you have any questions apart from the this thing they have to do, immigration law, so many things they do it.
Yes.
Please do reach out to them
Thank you
at
so
732-283-7400. So I just want a couple of things. As you said, we need what type of proof and all this little bit more details.
So the basic proofs are, the biggest ones are joint tax returns. Even if you are divorced, you need to show that during the term of the marriage you were together, joint income. Where was the money going? There's always a paper trail. Was the money going into separate accounts, joint accounts? And then what we usually see in a lot of marriages is that they don't have joint accounts. Maybe the spouse that's already in America, they will continue to use that as a primary bank account.
Right.
And so in those instances, we kind of have to get more creative and show perhaps transactions. For example, if it's the husband who is a primary account holder, and there's a whole bunch of transactions at Victoria's Secret. So then we can show that naturally it's a joint, it's a single account, but it's being used jointly.
Okay.
So that's one very basic concept, but there's a whole lot of other things that we can do to help people in these cases. And in instances, it's important for people to know that if their renewal application doesn't get approved, then they are going to be put into deportation, and they will have to re-present their case in front of an immigration judge. So these are not things to take lightly. ऐसे नहीं है कि अगर चलो कोई बात नहीं deny हो जाएगा तो ठीक है, यहाँ पे बैठे रहेंगे, बैठे नहीं रहोगे, deportation में जाओगे और जज के सामने जाओगे तो और मुसीबत आएगी आपको.
Exactly.
So please take the situation very, very seriously.
Exactly. And if you want any advices, कुछ भी हो, just
Absolutely.
one number, that's 732-283-7400, and your website.
Right now, like I said, it's still under construction, but our Facebook page is still there. Just Google Dalal and Mehta. You can read about all of our lovely clients, watch the videos, interact with us. So it's a great resource. And if you have any questions, and let's say you don't have an email address, send us a Facebook message.
Yeah, that's आजकल तो very simple to reach out to the people,
Exactly.
right? So it's very simple. So guys, you heard right, 732-283-7400 है उनका phone number. And Pooja ji, you have anything else before we wrap up the?
No, we discussed the basics about conditioned renewals. Make sure you please go see an attorney, and don't worry, India next time jeet jayegi. Bharosa rakho.
Exactly, that's important now.
That's the biggest part, biggest form of relief we can give, comfort we can give to each other.
Exactly, guys. We were discussing off air, me and Pooja. It was so much. Anyways, guys, that's
care,
Pooja.
everybody.
Thank you so much, Pooja ji. I will talk to you next week.
Yes, thank you, Kushi. Thank you, EBC.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care.